Did you know that over 40,000 South Africans call New Zealand home?
40,000? Hey, guess what? I'm one of them.
Yes, how we became one of those statistics.
Welcome back, guys, with the Duppies keeping it real here in New Zealand.
The word of today is kia ora. Kia ora can be used as a greeting or a farewell.
Hey, kia ora to you all out there. So yes, guys, today is my 1 year anniversary that I've been here in New Zealand now. I obviously got here before the family, about a month, 2 months before then. 2 months. My wife's got a couple of questions she wants to ask me.
So what was your first impressions like landing in New Zealand?
Yo, that's a difficult one. I can't really say there was major first impression. All the excitement and feeling overwhelmed about just getting to New Zealand and that and leaving my family behind in South Africa. I think that took away basically impressions and stuff. I just wanted to get to where I needed to be at my job. I wanted to get settled in and be in the room where I was going to be sleeping for the night. Calling back home as well, just to see if everyone's right there, to let them all know that I'm safe on the side of the valley, and yeah, actually something to eat because I was starving. Managed to find a taxi, but yeah, first asking at the airport for a taxi, and that the guy shouts out to me, hey, it's $50. $50 automatically being a South African, and you start doing that conversion ratio in your head and that, and then you start thinking, yo, that's gonna be like 500 rand just to take a taxi for about a 12-kilometer ride. No, that was just way too much for me. So I kept on looking around and that, everything new signage, new billboards, just different to South Africa in general in that sense. I did manage to see there was a van for $19, which you guys basically Uber together with a couple of people in the van, and yeah, the van took me down to a hotel where I was going to be staying for the night. Everything just flashed before my eyes actually as we were driving there, because there was just so much to see, a lot of overwhelming, a lot of emotions and feelings going through my mind at that stage. That was basically my first impressions, I could say. Everything was so fast, but when I got settled in the room, next day was a new adventure to start.
What was your work environment like? How did you find it different to South Africa's work environment?
I must say, when I arrived here and also stepped into the hotel where I was sleeping for the night, it was just open arms from day dot. As I stepped in there was a welcome note for me, some snacks, cheese and everything, and just something to eat and that. Them letting me stay complimentary free was something definitely a win-win.
Yes, it was a huge blessing.
Got to meet the people as well. It was a bit of a juggle around because the interview that I did in South Africa, when I got here, it was different people again because they already shifted their positions, because it took me around about a month and a half to get here from after I got my token and my visa and everything. I was dealing with new bosses again, people that I didn't speak to over the interviews, but still welcoming arms, and always letting me know if there's anything that I needed. I'm gonna step out and just ask. So I would say I had 3 days first to settle in, 2 days.
Yes, 2.
Got the 19th, yeah.
You landed the Monday and you started work the Wednesday.
So did a little bit of adventuring and scurrying around to see where we would end up settling with the family, because now there's 100 things going through my mind. I need to find a place for us to stay. I need transport, blah, 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 blah. Run, which I should have actually just taken a breath and step back, just slow things a little bit down. But when you're in the situation, in the moment, and the emotions and the feelings and that's the last thing on your mind. You actually just want to get things done. Maybe it's just a South African personality, or it's a trait from most of us. But I wish I could advise myself now, back a year later, to tell myself to slow down. Things will fall into place, and let go, let God. And I can tell you now, God let go, or no, I let go, and God definitely, he opened his arms and opened the doors for me as well. So it was definitely a blessing with everything so far that's happened in this past year.
Was there any challenges culturally that you wrestled with, or that you found just awkward, but it wasn't too bad?
I'm going to say huge culture shock, in the sense as being South African, you're just used to basically the environment that you've been living in for the last, if you were born and bred there, that's the environment and the people that you dealt with in that culture. Yeah, it's very diverse, a lot of different cultures, a lot of different languages, accents as well, and the way people pronounce certain things. So you need to use that language barrier just to work around it. There was always an open-ended sentence to everything, it seemed like it for me. Yeah, they never really gave you the answer. They would tell you about something, but never told you the full story or the full picture of it. And yeah, that irritates my wife when I also use it with her now. And I say, what's my favorite word?
To a point.
To a point.
Which is irritating because it's a yes or no. It's all I needed to know. Are we or aren't we? And then I get it to a point. I've half completed it. That's why it frustrates me. Was there any personal accomplishments that you experienced at work in the last year that you are proud of?
Accomplishments. I think just being here in New Zealand and away from my family is a huge accomplishment on its own. Not easy, guys. Maybe for some it is, but for me I found it exceptionally challenging. So just getting over those hurdles and that was, yeah, a very difficult one, especially let's say the first 2 weeks and that. But I can truly say being blessed once again with support from work, support from friends and family on the other side of the ocean, just phoning in all the time, sending messages, and that helped a lot. So I think they accomplished more than me by just keeping me on the straight and narrow and making me realize why I wanted to immigrate to New Zealand and why I'm here actually. So my accomplishments were more on a work basis, getting to learn the designs and systems and apps. I mean, yeah, you use an app for everything here in this place. Freaking stuff out, how it operates, taking a bus, for example, organizing a snapper card, getting a vehicle for the family, setting up house, beds, just the bare necessities so that when wifey gets here, she can get all the stuff that's actually needed, because also be in big trouble.
So that we can lay our heads down.
Accomplishments more relate to everyone just helping and supporting me. I think they accomplished to keep me positive and focused on goals and making it through each day as it passed in that, because it's, yeah, emotional roller coaster in the start.
Language and communication, you sort of touched on that already. For me, I haven't been in the work environment yet, but even just in the shops or when we went to go buy cell phone SIM cards, there's a lot of accents. And the way I say something is not the same way they say it. And they don't necessarily hear what you're saying because your accent's different. So you try and jump over that hurdle first before you can actually communicate to say what you need or why you're here. That was a challenge for us when we landed.
Yeah.
But you experienced it on a work level.
Yeah, they use a lot of sweet ass, and I'm thinking, who's sweet ass they're talking about? And I'm sure you've heard it on other channels and programs as well. And they're going to flick me a mail. And what you flicking me a mail? Just send me the mail. So yeah, those were a couple of the things that was very different. And languages, yeah, diverse. Guarantee you that now. But I loved it actually. It's nice listening. I mean, yeah, you hear French people and Chinese, Mandarin, the guy that I work with, Argentinian, big guy, but yeah, it's very challenging.
What has been your favorite experience so far in New Zealand?
Most favorite experience in New Zealand is when my family arrived at the airport and I got to see them again after 2 months.
Yes, that was quite a different experience, but we've had so many already. Between the nature, the hikes we've gone and done, we're not avid hikers, but we are getting into it now because you can't not do it. Yeah, it's just the countryside is so beautiful, the mountains and everywhere, and there's hiking trails everywhere.
We went to Martinborough Fair on the 1st of February, which is past now. I think it's the biggest fair I've ever been to in my life.
Yes.
We walked for approximately 3.5 hours. I mean, wow, New Zealand, you guys have got talent.
And we still didn't even get to all the stalls because our feet were very sore after all that walking. But the talent, it was jaw-dropping. The talent was amazing. We couldn't believe. We've never been to anything like that before. Definitely not in South Africa.
No, never.
What challenges did you face that you want to give some advice for?
I think the biggest one would be emotions, is to keep your emotions intact and keep on reminding yourself the reason why you wanted to move to New Zealand. Yeah, there was days where I felt I can just give it up now. I can find a way to get my job back or another job where I was working. Just go back home and that, because my family's going to hate it here. I was in the city, so being in the city is a lot different than being out in the suburbs. That I can tell you now. So word of advice, guys, get out of the city, get into the suburbs and that, where you'll start feeling back to norm again. I'm not a city guy per se, learning fast. I think my wife's more of the city lady than what I would be. But that was my biggest challenge, is to keep emotions in check at all times. Once again, I'm still reaching out and saying thanks to everyone for supporting and keeping me emotionally together and held together. Just an SMS, yeah, just checking in on me daily and that. I mean, I reaching out and trying to give advice and things, which I was also getting answers and advice for at the same time, and it was more repetition, but those kind of things, they kept a person in check. So yeah, challenges is basically mainly emotions. Being on two sides of the world between my wife and myself, and that also time zones. Yeah, it's whack because when she's sleeping, I'm awake, and when she's awake, I'm sleeping. So we were trying to organize a place for ourselves to stay, somewhere to actually just call home for the next year or two, or whenever, how long we can stay here for. But that was a very big challenge to find a place actually. And then getting a vehicle, I think that's top key and priority, is to get a vehicle, because you definitely need that transport if you're going to be traveling out to the suburbs and that, if you want to go look at houses and view them as well. The way they do things here with viewing houses and getting set up is totally different in South Africa.
It's all bookings based, but your public transport just takes you to the main roads. Then you still have to travel from there deeper into the suburb to go view the house. So on the maps, it looks like just 3 or 4 blocks up and around a hill and around the mountain. It's not a straightforward 3 or 4 blocks that you have to travel. But other than that, it was also very hard to find temporary accommodation, because most places don't sign short-term leases. They want you to commit to 12 months. He started viewing places just for himself, because the complimentary stay at the hotel was limited. But luckily they didn't just kick him out, because we struggled to find accommodation.
Yeah. Blessed for basically 2 months staying in the hotel,
Almost,
which was
yes,
nice.
Almost, yeah. So we eventually, after about 3 weeks, decided now we need to start turning the gears again and looking for housing, 3-bedroom houses, which was also very difficult because there's a lot available, but you're competing with a lot of people, and then the quality isn't always the greatest, so you have to check the health checks and all. There's a lot of logistics that goes along with it.
Some of the houses, when I walked into them, have a look, wow, you'll be shocked. I think you would pack your bags and go straight back to South Africa.
Yes.
But perseverance was definitely there to find the right place for the family, and that I'm going to keep on using this word. I was blessed, truly blessed to find the place that we're staying now, and that.
Yes.
And God had to definitely open up those doors for us and the family.
Yes, we found a place within 3 weeks of looking, and then you were able to move in. And only once he was able to do that could he go look for a car. What was your experience when going for the test drive?
So yeah, South Africa, I think if you got to test drive a car, you got to show your license, an ID, and then the guy jumps in with you as when you take a drive. When I got to the dealership, basically handed the keys and said, yeah, I'll go and see if you're happy or not. I said, are you coming with? He said, no, I'll see you when you get back. So yeah, it was very strange actually, just to hop in a car and just drive away and test drive. Yeah, it was nice though.
That was our experience, but it's all good. It all worked out in the end. We got a place to stay. It just took longer than what we expected, because we didn't understand the hurdles we would need to jump through to get a place to stay. Is there any last goals? Is there any goals for the new year that you want to achieve?
The goals is to stay where we are currently now.
Yes.
For as long as possible.
Yeah.
We've got a beautiful view of the ocean, even though the landlord has got her house parked in front of ours, but I can see side to side of it, and it's gorgeous.
It's all good.
Yeah, I would say goals would be to venture out more with the family and that, and start. We avid campers basically, get some camping gear and that together, and that we can actually travel out a little bit further to start actually seeing more of this beautiful country. I know as a family, my wife and myself, we wanted to be in Wellington, almost ended up in Auckland, but I'm glad that we ended up here in Wellington. Everyone says Christchurch is beautiful down at the south. I'm sure it is. So yeah, I would love to go and visit there and go and see it. But I'm very happy being in Wellington. To me, it feels very central to everything.
Coming from Cape Town, we're used to the wind, so it feels like home. It's all good.
They call it what? Windy Wellington.
Windy Wellington, yes. It's not the Cape Doctor anymore.
Nah.
But anyway, guys, we just wanted to say thank you for everything and for everybody's support. And if there's anything anybody wants to know or have any questions of our experience, because I know everybody who has channels on YouTube has their own experiences. They live in different areas. Most I've seen live in Auckland. I haven't seen many for Wellington. There's a lot of South Africans around. There's a lot of help. If you just reach out. Some people aren't on the groups anymore, but if you see them in the shop, they're willing to chat. there's no problems there.
Definitely.
But if anybody wanted to know anything, leave a comment down below, or email us if you wanted to. Like, share and subscribe to our channel so that it can be shared to more other people, and maybe we can be helpful along the way. This was just a video for hubby's 1 year anniversary. We still have a while to go, me and the girls. Thank you for watching our video.
Chat to you guys soon again, and kia ora.
Kia ora.